The natural gas we use today started hundreds of millions of years ago as plants and animals living in in shallow marine environments. And when they were alive, they absorb energy from the sun and store it as carbon. And then when they die, they sink to the bottom. They're covered by sediment and rock, again, over hundreds of millions of years. And then the heat and pressure over that time converts it into the extractable natural gas we use today. And use it today, we do. Natural gas is used in 90% of California homes. We use it to power our stoves, our ovens, fireplaces, if you have them, warm our water, heat our homes. The problem is that mining, producing, and burning natural gas is a major contributor to climate change. So, natural gas is mainly methane in its chemical makeup, which is not necessarily inherently a bad thing, but burning natural gas emits quite the toxic cocktail of pollutants. California residential gas appliances, so gas furnaces and water heaters, release approximately 12,000 tons of carbon monoxide and almost 16,000 tons of nitrogen oxide outdoors annually. The EPA has regulated nitrogen dioxide and carbon monoxide outdoors for decades, which is great. But 1 hour with a gas stove or oven results in such peak levels of NO2, it would be illegal outdoors. So the air quality within the kitchen exceeds state and national standards.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. If you look at that third point there, living in a home with a gas stove increases risk of childhood asthma by 42%. It is truly not a wonder when you look at the stats. Homes with gas stoves have NO2 concentrations 50 to 400% higher than homes with electric stoves. And so exposure to NO2, even in the short term, even at low levels, can cause pretty damaging respiratory effects. So yeah, it's clear we need to do something not only for the health of the planet, but for our health as well. And in November of 2020, so a big month, San Francisco banned natural gas. I think it was Jackie who said that, voted to ban natural gas in new buildings, which is also great. That means that stoves, furnaces, water heaters will no longer burn gas for heat. So a pretty major victory. Replacing gas appliances with advanced electric alternatives not only improves our health, it lowers energy costs in a major way, and it eliminates a pretty big source of greenhouse gases. And luckily, renewable prices continue to plummet, which is fantastic news. But people are kind of saying that it's so expensive to switch over your appliances, and so we'll spend the latter half of the presentation talking about ways to save money and ways to do it the most kind of expert way.
Thanks, Hayden. And actually, I just saw Rebecca's comment in the chat, which gives a little bit of a preview into what we're also going to talk about with the solutions. But yeah, so it sounds like you're all coming from different places of involvement in this and knowledge about this, as well as experience within your own homes. I know it all can be a little bit overwhelming and kind of scary to look at some of the statistics. I have a 3-year-old myself who loves to be in the kitchen with me. So I have been experimenting and researching with some of this on my own, and looking forward to sharing some of these ideas and solutions with you all. So essentially, we're going to start off with talking about what we can do individually in our homes, what we can do in the community level with different groups that we're part of, some of which you mentioned at the beginning of the call, and then we can talk about actions that we can take at the city and state level. So starting off with in our homes, which is probably the first place that we all think of, one thing we can do is replace gas-powered appliances with electric appliances. So we can use induction stoves or heat plates if an induction stove isn't in the budget. And electric toaster ovens, air fryers. There are lots of different electric appliances that I've seen people put together in configurations to reduce the amount of gas being used in our homes. And then beyond that, I think Hayden mentioned some of this, hot water heat pumps to remove the gas-powered heat pumps in our homes. Space heating heat pumps are another appliance, and then heat pump dryers. So there's heat pump versions of all of our gas appliances that use natural gas and emit these emissions into our homes. So the appliances are one piece, and we all have different places of we might be renters, we might be owners, and then we all have different budgets. So kind of depending on where you're starting off, there's lots of different resources that are available to help you out in this process. So in the right hand column, you'll see there are rebates available in the Bay Area. And again, Rebecca mentioned this in the chat, so you have some additional resources there. So resources available for rebates. There are also a list of incentives that are available. And then one thing that I've seen a lot of in my own individual research and experiences and with my network and acquaintances is the appliances is one step. And just based on the prevalence of gas in our homes, a lot of appliance installers might not be super knowledgeable about alternatives to gas appliances. So Clean Energy Connection has this great resource of contractors that are knowledgeable in this area and that are expert in this area that'll be people to help you out if you're looking to go this way, because if you're investing in this process, you don't also want to be hitting a lot of barriers to the actual installation process in your home. I myself have had issues with that, so I know how challenging that can be. And then if you're not in the market, I know for myself in my home, our appliances are really far from end of use, so we're trying to figure out what to do kind of in the meantime. And there are lots of ways to make changes without a huge budget. One thing that is kind of up and coming and available right now is and it doesn't require any investment. Ohm Connect is an app-based service that helps you reduce your energy use. And then also you get points for saving energy. And that's everything you can do in your app. You don't have to invest anything, but you're actually able to make money off of saving energy at your home. And then if you're a renter, BayRen again offers a list of resources that you can use, or resources that are available for renters who might not be able to, or who might not have complete control over the appliances in their homes. And then next is in our communities. One way you can get involved is just work with the community centers, schools, places of worship that you are already associated with to make sure or put pressure on having gathering spaces that are gas-free. So for example, Oakland Unified recently passed a resolution that sets a goal of 100% clean electricity by 2030. And then they're pledging to be completely off of fossil fuels for heating and transportation by 2040. So there are lots of ways that communities are taking action in this area, and then also different ways that you as a community member can get involved. And then finally, at the city and state level, so as many of you already know, and some of you have already mentioned, a number of cities in California are already taking action to establish regulations of gas hookups and gas appliances. We're currently at 2 cities. Berkeley was the first to pass one of these bans, and then San Carlos, I think just this month, passed a resolution to reduce gas in new construction. And there's a great resource that Sierra Club offers that lists out different cities and what their current regulations are. So it's a great resource to check out, see where your city is in the process, what they're planning to do, what they have done. And then if you don't see your city on there, we would love to hear from you, reach out to us and discuss kind of how to go about organizing an all electric plan for your own city. And then California wide, so as you know, based on the citywide action, there's clearly demand for having bans of natural gas in our buildings throughout the state. So 42 cities have already taken action, which kind of creates the impetus to try to get this, to try to get a ban. And you can access the petition instruction. So that's kind of at the state level, kind of the biggest, the kind of widest action that you can take.